Hi there and welcome. Are you planning to travel in the near future? I know I'm making this in late spring, right before the summer time here where I live in North America, and this is when a lot of us plan to take our vacation soon in the summer. Uh, but, of course, in the modern world, we can travel at any time. Um, if you are planning to travel, especially longer than a short car ride in your area, I want you to think about uh, how you're going to adjust your own body and your aura and your chakras and your frequency as you travel across the country, and especially as you travel to the new place. And also think about how you're going to harmonize yourself with the energies of the land spirits where you're going. And this is something that I covered in a recent class. I actually had a little in-person class here in my garden. And I wasn't planning on covering, but it just sort of came up. So some of you may have heard of this concept of ley lines. And I think that's spelled Ley. um, you can research more about that if you want to. But here's the basis. The gist of it is that there are energy grids and lines across the entire planet. These are like meridians of the earth, okay? Uh, and, as we travel, each of these lines, it has a different quality. So we are, needing to adjust to that energetically. We don't account for that often in our travels, and we wonder why we're tired and exhausted. Uh, and, there's also like thinking of it from evolutionary biology, which overlaps with the meridians and the energy system and the chakras and all of that. Um, if you just think about how humans likely evolved to travel, I mean, think about that. How do you think we evolved to travel? Like a long time ago, when our physical bodies evolved, we evolved to walk, to travel by walking, or maybe swimming. Possibly swimming, I think, as well. But it's not like you're going to, you know, swim from the Atlantic, to the Pacific. So we evolved to travel, on land by walking, and we would do that gradually, and that would give our bodies time to adjust to the flora and the fauna and the bacteria as well, and the viruses and all the different things, the natural components that are in every ecosystem. Um, but now what we do in modern times, and I do it too sometimes, so I'm not griping at anybody or judging you. I'm just saying it's just what we do. I mean, we get on a plane, right? And we fly, 500, 1,000 more miles, and we get off that plane, a few hours later, or maybe it's, a day later. But we've gone through so many ecosystems, and now we're just going to land. We've had no time to adjust. Not in the terms of evolution, okay? Not in the terms of how our bodies have evolved. So yeah, if you're going to do that, like many of us will do that this summer, and I'm not traveling real long distance, but long enough at one time where I'm going to need to take a plane ride. Um, yeah, which I haven't done that in a long time, so that's going to be interesting. But um, point is that you might want to start preparing yourself energetically in advance, and there's different ways you can do that. But okay, if you're gonna, first of all, if you can travel by car or train, or I mean, it's hard to walk. I mean, I guess some people are really in shape could bicycle, to their place, but not all of us are bicyclists. So uh, if you can travel to your destination by, the slower method, and that's still really fast, according to how we're, wired to be, but by car, that can help. And when you're traveling by car, stop a little more often, and every time you stop, take a moment to tune into the spirits of the land and really kind of ground yourself in, and just, let your system settle, and that will help. And that will help, you not have so much inertia when you're done traveling, or exhaustion, or even side effects later when you come back home. And it also will help you have just a better experience. And then, of course, when you arrive at the place you're traveling to, whether you go by car or plane or boat or however you're going, um, you really want to take a moment to tune into the land spirits, to open yourself up, to honor them. Sometimes, if you're going to be there a while, you might make a little offering, like a food or a libation, if that's okay to do where you're at. Um, Now, if there's a lot of bears around or whatever, don't dump food out. Don't put yourself in danger, okay? Um, but sometimes just taking a few moments to meditate and tune in and open to the spirits of the land and ask for their permission to be there. This is really important because, we have such a colonial mindset in the modern world. And, like, we just assume that we have the right to be anywhere. And we assume that we're welcome, that, we can just go into any land and we're welcome. And, we're not, okay? The land itself has a consciousness. Every land itself has a consciousness. So, and energies. So just go in, when you go in and ask for blessings. Ask for, the permission to be there. And let it know that you're going to be respectful, of the land and the people and the animals and the plants and all of that. And of course, do be respectful while you're there. That's another thing. But this will help your energy system to settle, to integrate in. And you can even start ahead of time in your meditations. Like if I know I'm going to take a trip in a month or two, right? If you know that your trip is a little ways off. I mean, even if it's the next day, but especially if it's a little ways off, a few weeks, you can start to meditate and visualize, connect with the energy of that place, connect with the energy lines along the way. Go in and kind of tune into them so that you can, get a little bit of familiarity. Then when you're passing over them, whether it's, in a plane, over on a plane, or in a car or a train, it'll be a little bit more familiar. It will be a little bit easier for your chakras and your nadis and your meridians. And if you don't know what these words mean, it's your energy system, okay? Just think about your non-physical and your physical energy system. I do observe that when clients practice this and students that I've taught this to, that they have less jet lag, they have less illness while they're traveling, and tend to have less illness when they come back. I mean, have you ever noticed when you take that trip, a lot of times there is some kind of physical fallout one side or the other of the trip. So I think this is partly why. It may not be always why, but yeah, we're having a hard time adapting because we weren't made to travel that quickly across the Earth's surface, just evolutionary. I'm talking about nature, okay? But we can work in our consciousness through meditation, through opening up to the higher realms. I mean, you can reach up, right? And reach into your intuition. And kind of think about, drawing in some extra energy to help you when you travel. I read something the other day, and I didn't see what language it came out of, but the author was mentioning the stresses of travel from a purely just, mundane point of view. But he had pointed out that the word travel is related to the word travails, that came out of that word. And, travails are like hardships, right? So the original meaning of the word travel, had to do with the hardships and the dangers and the uncomfortableness that we encounter when we travel. And yeah, that's some of that is still true, even though there's great expansion that can be had through traveling, right? And opening up in consciousness and new adventures, and that's all good. Okay, that's all good. But yeah, if you want to keep your system balanced and strong, you need to make some allowances for that. Now, I do want to say some people seem to be more adaptive than others. Some individuals seem to be able to more readily adapt, and maybe it's because of practice, or I don't know. I mean, we could look at their astrology charts. There's a lot of different things we could say. Maybe even, their genetics. Do they come from a long line of nomadic people? Perhaps that's part of it. So yeah, maybe you're an individual where this, isn't as hard, but I'm speaking generally about humans. I mean, we're all the same in a lot of ways. We're humans, right? We're human animals. So, uh, yeah, we do need to prep our energy systems and also be respectful of the places we are traveling to. If you don't acknowledge the land spirits, the nature energies where you're going, even the spirit of the city, let's say if you're going to a city, I mean, if you don't acknowledge that, that creates a little bit more friction and road bumps for you, and you don't want that. So, yeah, hopefully you can work with these ideas and concepts. And I hope you have wonderful holidays and summer travels, or if you're watching this later, holiday travels, winter travels, whenever it is, fall travels, spring travels. But especially happy summer travels because we all love to enjoy our adventures in the summer. Okay, well, until next time, I'm sending you bright blessings and lots of positive vibes for your fun and expanding travels ahead. Bye.